guys, hey, thank you for taking a minute out to talk about Across the Field, your musical union, the band. I appreciate it.
Yeah, of course,
Absolutely.
absolutely.
So, are you both in Indiana?
We're
Yeah.
both in Indiana. Yeah, Garrett, like Garrett said, he's down in Bloomington. I'm up in Indianapolis now in the
Okay.
city.
Okay.
Just moved a couple months ago, and we both of us have finished our masters at IU now, but
Okay.
we're still pretty close. It's only an hour apart.
Okay, I got you. Yeah, the home of J.J. Johnson. Cool. So
Yes.
let's get into the music. You guys on this album get into college fight songs, which is kind of interesting because I've never seen anything like this before. There's been spins and themes, but this is very much so uncharted territory. So talk to me a little bit about before we get into the album. How did you guys come together? How did this whole musical union happen?
Yeah, absolutely. So, funnily enough, Joe, too, if you remember when we did an interview for an album I did a couple years ago, Garrett
Yeah,
was playing saxophone on that album as well.
yeah,
So that's kind of I think representative of our playing together. We've been friends for 6 or 7 years now. I think we were across the hall roommates during our undergraduate time at IU, and we've been playing music together and writing music together for a really long time. And during our master's program back in 2023, one of our great professors and mentors, Brent Wallerab, who's an incredible composer, arranger, and educator, and retired trombone player, great trombone player too. He came to us and said, "Hey, what would you think about writing arrangements of college fight songs for jazz septet?" And it caught us off guard. He asked us to like go get lunch with him, and we were so surprised. It was like that was not what we were expecting to hear. But it was really cool, and I've always been very passionate about college football. I'm from the South. My family is an LSU family, and so I'm very passionate about it. And Garrett's been going to games since he was a kid, growing up in Ohio as an Ohio State fan. So it was actually kind of a natural thing for us to take a moment to process and think this might be really, really cool. And so we were commissioned by Brent and a great kind of patron and supporter of the arts in Indianapolis named Greg Reynolds to do this commission of 12 fight songs that we chose for Septet. We put it together for a show in October of that year, 2023, and then decided after that show that it'd be really fun to record it. Recorded in March of 24, and now we're here. The album came out back in October. It's been
yeah,
really fun since.
absolutely. So it has to feel good to perform this live. Have you done it a lot live?
I think we've now done, I think, four renditions of this live. A couple of times at a great club in Indianapolis called the Silo Club, and once down in Columbus, Indiana, at a theater down there for a big crowd, which was really fun. And then we're working on a tour for fall of this year where we're going to try and do some college towns, and maybe maybe be affiliated with some universities in some way, or just try and see what we could do. To be along with the theme of the album, playing music in college.
Right on. So what has the response been like? What have people been saying?
Honestly, I think I speak for both of us. It's overwhelmingly positive. I think we both thought we were making like the jazz album, and I think our mission for the album itself was kind of to present the music in a way that anyone could listen to. Like a jazz head can find something to dig into, but also like my mom can listen to the Ohio State fight song and recognize that it's there and have these memories of her time in college. And our early reviews suggested that we accomplished that. And I think we're both really proud of it.
So before you did this, did you get do any research as to if anybody had ever done an album like this before, so you knew where you were walking into?
Yeah, we definitely did. We had a whole kind of brainstorming period from April to October of trying to figure out what songs we were going to do if something like this had been done before, like what inspiration we could take. It's kind of hard to find anything. Um, there's been different renditions of songs over the years, like kind of one-offs, when people are, an alumnus of some university, but never a collection like this for an instrumentation different than a marching band, right? So we listened to a couple of compilation albums together of like the best fight songs, and we took input from friends and family on like what are great schools that we are connected to that we could choose. And then came the process of, well, all of these songs are very similar and have like kind of this march feel. They're all at the same tempo and time signature. So what can we do to change every one of them up and make them sound different?
So, have you thought about doing any other kind of theme like this? Like, I mean, I know the NFL team, I know the Chiefs have a song. I know other teams. Have you thought about doing anything, diversifying in anything else?
We've definitely thought about it. We have a lot of ideas with our band that Garrett and I formed out of this called the Visions Jazz Ensemble. We have a lot of ideas of doing other themed projects. Being from Indiana, we're interested in like maybe doing music of Indiana composers,
Sure.
um, maybe things like more in the straight ahead jazz idiom. But I'm also interested in things like NFL films music from the old days, like 30 years ago,
Oh man.
all the grainy footage with the orchestral music in the background. There's some other funny things that we could do, as well as maybe even like a second edition of this fight songs thing. We've had a lot of people reach out and be like, "Where's my school?" So there could be an opportunity for that as well.
Absolutely. So talk to me about the Visions Jazz Ensemble. Give me an idea of how it all works, how it sounds good, how you're going for the sound.
Well, it helps a lot that the entire band, we all went to school together. We've been playing together for, I think, the list, the shortest connection we have is probably 3 years. Um, we have so much experience as a group. The instrumentation is drums, bass, piano, got your classic rhythm section, and the horn section is pretty well balanced with Sam playing trumpet, Nick Rechtenwald playing trumpet. I'm on tenor saxophone slash flute slash whatever Sam makes me play. And then Jeff Parker, a well-known trumpet player in the area, is actually playing trombone for us, and he is equally as scary on a trombone as he is on a trumpet. I think it works so well because the balance of the instrumentation is pretty natural and common, and then the experience we have together and playing under the guidance of Brent, we all have learned like we got the basics, and it makes playing and reading and performing really easy with the guys.
So, the one thing that's going on right now, I know we're out of the pandemic, but I think it still played such a large role, especially for people that were still in school and want, I mean, because going into jazz music, you're already wondering about dollars and cents. It's not the most lucrative field. But so you already had some trepidation. And then you have a pandemic, and now we're out of it. What's your sense of how strong the jazz community is in 2025?
Yeah, I think it's really strong. I think we're all trying to be very supportive of each other. I think, we all saw kind of the hit that a lot of like live music took. And I think it's still recovering from that in terms of just like people being out and wanting to spend their nights out, participating in the music and participating in the community versus being at home and finding that new balance post-pandemic is interesting. But I think the interest and the passion for the music is still there from everybody and even to a greater extent because we've all just found new ways, to communicate. Even what we're doing right now, meeting virtually. There's so much that can happen and so much that is possible now that we've, been able to kind of grow out of the ashes here.
Yeah, for sure. So, what's next for you guys? I know you guys got a fall tour coming up, as you mentioned, each respectively in your own careers. What's kind of going on with you guys?
Yeah, maybe I'll go first and then I'll throw it over to Garrett. I've got just a couple things going on. I mean, I live here in Indianapolis now, so a lot of my attention is kind of focused on like participating in the great jazz scene here, the great history of musicians that have come through here, and participating in that. Got a couple of shows. I've been playing with this group called Sammy Miller and the Congregation, which has been
Yeah,
super fun.
yeah.
Uh, and so I'm kind of just focusing on that and then writing some more music that will maybe have some more eyes on it in the future. But right now it's kind of all in the works in the incubator. But for me, yeah, just putting my head down, going out and performing as much as I can and gaining some more experience.
Right on.
Um, I'm a little bit different on that front actually. So to make a long story short, in the middle of COVID, I had a repetitive motion injury flare up. So I don't seek out playing as frequently as I once did, but I do a lot of composing, arranging, transcribing. Um, I
Garrett
spent
is the
the
brains. Garrett
I
is the
spent
brains.
I wish I spent the last few semesters at IU covering for some professors on sabbatical. But I mostly just work the day job and make music when it feels right to me. I'm working on a project for like a chamber ensemble plus saxophone, maybe just piano and some strings. But right now, with all the other stuff going on, we're trudging along a little bit, but it'll be ready.
So is it the Jazz Kitchen that's up in Indianapolis? What is the is that it?
Yeah,
That's
Jazz
the yeah.
Kitchen is there's a couple great places, but yeah, Jazz Kitchen is here in Indy.
Okay. So what's the scene like? How's everything going up there?
It's going great. I've got a show there actually. I don't know necessarily when this may come out, but on February 4th, I have a show at the Jazz Kitchen. They're really great about kind of reaching out to the younger crowd and kind of getting us all in together. There's great shows that come through there, all the time. The Headhunters were there just this past week. Um, and there's a whole lot of great stuff happening. There's a lot of like seasoned veterans who have been around, who've toured all over the place with great musicians and are great musicians in their own right. And then there's a lot of really, eager young musicians as well. Some people coming from IU, like myself. And I think our generation of musicians that came from IU and live in Indianapolis are trying to bridge the gap between the two, since they're only an hour away.
Yeah.
How can we make those two communities from Bloomington and Indianapolis make more music together and kind of participate? So that's what I'm really invested in right now.
I think the one thing about coming out of this pandemic and what I heard a lot during that time was really the revenue streams. Musicians making money off of their original music, and as you said, composing. So if anybody wants to buy the album, where's the best place to go? Is it Bandcamp to benefit you guys?
So I don't think we're actually up on Bandcamp, but
Okay.
we're up on a couple of different things. One first thing to do would be to go to our website, which is www.visionsjazzensemble.com. That's got all of the information about our shows, the music, kind of the story behind the music. We have some great liner notes from the great Neil Tesser from the Jazz Journalists Association that he wrote about the music. And then there's a link to get either a digital copy or a physical copy of the music. We're on all the streaming platforms, so you can check us out there. Visions Jazz Ensemble. The album is called Across the Field. So there's a lot of different ways to do it. And yeah, I think that's about it. That link alone will get you to all of our stuff.
Okay, cool. Yeah. And then, of course, the fall tour will be up there and all of that as it comes through.
Yes, as
So,
it comes through, we'll be updating all that as well.
okay, cool. Well, gentlemen, this has been great. I'm looking forward to profiling this on the show. Thank you for catching up with me about it. Have a great, I know we're past the new year, but have a great 2025.
Yeah, likewise. Thanks for having us, Joe.
Yeah,
You as well, Joe.
absolutely.
Thank you so much.
You bet.